Hello there, beautiful people. So, I got the star reversed today, and so I'm going to do a short video here, just speaking about some of the stories about this reversed card. So, it's a major arcana card. So when they're reversed, there is something that is a little bit out of balance. There is a lesson that we're not quite ready to learn. There is a resistance to step into the gift that the star has to give us, and there is the ego maybe jumping in and getting involved in the whole situation, and maybe owning some of the story or the gifts that the star represents. So the star represents this inner communication, this receiving, the divine guidance from above, from the stars. It's feeling that guidance coming through us and pouring it out into the world in a subconscious way into the collective waters of humanity and onto the earth, pouring our attention into both of these areas as well, recognizing our inner connection to all of life and to all of humanity, recognizing our pure connection to the world around us and to the world, and making this marriage inside of us. So there's a complete nakedness, and this nakedness represents complete vulnerability and honesty. And so when this card is reversed, there's a resistance to step into that vulnerability. There's a resistance to be honest with ourselves. There's maybe an avoidance of having this inner communication, this avoidance of seeing how connected we are with life. And this can come through fears, through lack of feeling safe. It's a very common dynamic that we might resist going inwards and having a conversation with ourselves, very simply, if there are stories inside of our subconscious and stories inside of ourselves that we'll have to bump into and meet on that journey of inner communication and inner honesty. If being honest with ourselves means that we have to face something that we don't really like to face, like shame, like guilt, like fear, then we'll avoid it, and we'll make excuses not to do it, and we'll find reasons to do anything but that, and we'll keep our interaction with ourselves a superficial one, and that becomes a little bit of our interaction with the world as well. If we receive guidance in some way, but then there's a resistance to share it through fear of how we might be judged, or how we might be perceived by other people in the world, then we also might resist this vital sharing and this vital channel that we are as a gift to higher consciousness. And we have plenty to share. We always have plenty of wisdom and understanding and knowledge to share with the world, and there may be a resistance to share in a pure way. We might feel like we have to say what other people might want to hear instead of what is our truth and what is our vulnerable essence and truth. And we might not even know what our essence and what our truth is. So it might be difficult to share on a deeply honest level if we don't actually know. And knowing comes from this inner communication. Knowing comes from sitting and really connecting with ourselves and connecting with that divine source above us, those stars, and allowing ourselves to be guided. There's also resistance with this reversal that we actually can be that channel, and we might think that we can't. We might think we're not good enough to channel a higher wisdom. We might not think that we can tap into the stars' gifts, when in reality we're already doing it. We're always doing it in some way or another. It just gets a little bit tainted by the ego, or tainted by our personality, the guidance or the wisdom that comes through us. And so by the time it comes to our conscious mind, it's all riddled with programs and twisted and changed in so many ways. And this is natural, and being a pure, if not so much an innocent, but being this pure honest channel is something that takes a little bit of practice. And if we're not willing to share with the world on an honest level, then it's going to be very difficult for us to become that channel. And sometimes we have to empty ourselves out. You have to, in order to dig a hole to get to the depth of, or in order to find the treasure buried, you have to take away the surface stuff, and you have to empty out, you have to, take off the grass on the top. You have to dig the surface layers out, and you have to empty them out and throw them somewhere. And sometimes going deeper and sharing deeper understandings and deeper knowledge comes from emptying the surface, the superficial stuff first. And we have to share on all levels, as long as it's honest. And it's that honesty which this card is calling for. So I hope this helps you in some way decipher some of the messages that this card may bring to you. It's it's a powerful card. If we're resisting, just quietening our minds, taking time out to meditate, taking time out to just connect to divine guidance, then this card will come up and tell us, hey, maybe it's a good time to try and do some of those practices that we know are good for us, but we don't always do. Have a fantastic day.